So the next thing we're going to talk about is the big one, hormones. Anybody recognize this woman? Any resemblance to anyone in this audience at any time in their life is purely coincidental. This is not really me. I love this. I love this because it is not really you. When you're in this state, it is not really you. And if you only understood that 80% of the women in this country are going through the same thing. But you think it's you, your husband thinks it's you, your kids think it's you, your boyfriend thinks it's you, but it's not you. It's just the chemical imbalance that you're suffering from. Mature follicle, then it will pop out right here, and that's ovulation. That should happen on the 14th day of every month in the perfect world. Then, and here's the key, when that happens, right here from the corpus luteum, progesterone is released for the next 14 days. About 20 milligrams a day is released. Okay? So, here's the problem. Anything that affects ovulation is going to affect what? Progesterone production. Here's where the imbalance comes from, folks. First 14 days of a woman's period, you're producing estrogen to create the endometrial lining. That's good. Estrogen's good. You need it. However, estrogen cannot go unopposed in the human body. Unopposed estrogen is harmful. Unopposed estrogen is what the problem is. It has to be balanced with progesterone. It's the same thing as acidity and alkalinity. Acidity, we have to have it or else we'd be way too alkaline. We have to have both. But unopposed acidity, as we already explained, will cause imbalances in your pH that'll mess up your body. Same thing here. So you produce estrogen for the first 14 days to create the endometrial lining. Then, if you ovulated, you produce progesterone for the next 14 days and you're happy, okay? Everything's beautiful, right? Harmony. However, if you do not produce an egg for whatever reason and that progesterone is not released, crazy time for the next 14 days because when you got unopposed estrogen in your body, that's when you go crazy, ladies, okay? That's when that woman comes out that we just saw. That's an unopposed estrogen fit. So what affects ovulation? Simple. Emotions, stress. Stress is a big factor. Nutrition. You're not healthy, right? So you're not going to produce an egg. You're not going to ovulate. And ovulatory cycles. Now here, this is a big one because many women between the ages of 30 and 50 don't have ovulation every month. They have periods, but just because you have a period doesn't mean you ovulated, okay? This means you're shedding your lining, but it doesn't mean you produced an egg that month. They're called anovulatory cycles. This is why women between 30 and 50 can suffer from serious progesterone deficiencies, even if they've done nothing to hinder the ovulation process. It's a natural, irregular cycle. And then birth control pills and shots, well, now we're really messing with the plumbing. I know a young lady at 19, she got the shot, gained 100 pounds, unexplained, then had cervical cancer 2 years later. Hysterectomies, it's all gone, right? You're not going to ovulate. And, of course, good old-fashioned menopause. Symptoms of hormone imbalance for women, progesterone deficiency and estrogen dominance. And here's some simple symptoms. Irritability. You're irritable, okay? You're prickly. One woman suggested I say, prickly. You sweat the small stuff. Anxiety attacks, hot and cold flashes. Somebody said that their room was like a hurricane. Their wife had so many fans going in the room. You walked in and it's like it was a wind tunnel. Sensitive breasts and sensitive skin. I had a woman tell me, I don't want to be touched. Don't touch me. Okay? She tells her husband this, not me. Depression, insomnia, can't sleep, tossing and turning, can't sleep. Weight gain, unexplained. Migraines. How come it's only women that get migraines, ladies? Do you know guys that have a migraine every day? Do you guys know guys that carry around Midol in their, carry Midol in their pockets? I mean, maybe 1 out of 10, maybe 1 out of 100, but it's a hormone thing. Night sweats. Have women say, oh yeah, I wake up, everything's drenched. You hear that all the time, okay? Progesterone deficiency. So those are some of the symptoms. Here's the consequences, serious consequences. You let these states go on for any period of time, this deficiency, here's what can happen. Breast and uterine cancer. And the simple explanation is you've got too much estrogen, the body's going to take it and deposit it as cysts. It's got to get it out of your system somehow because your liver can't process it. So it'll deposit it as cysts, which can become malignant. Gallbladder problems. I was with a young lady the other day. She had her gallbladder out. Estrogen will thicken your bile, thickens the bile. That's why women are getting their gallbladders out left and right in this country now. Young girls, 15 years old to 50, it doesn't make any difference. And she was sitting there, and she looked at her mother and said, Mom, she goes, I didn't have a period 1 year before I had the gallbladder problems. Underactive thyroid, that happens when there's too much estrogen, not enough progesterone. How many women are diagnosed with underactive thyroids? Rampant now in this country. Yeast infections. Underactive thyroid depresses the immune system. Candida grows in your body. It flourishes. Acid reflux, leg cramps, athlete's foot. Again, migraines, chronic fatigue. All of those things are symptoms of yeast infections. Osteoporosis. Progesterone is essential for bone formation. And alcohol dependence. Women who never drank in their life think about going and get a bottle of whiskey. Okay? And the reason being is because not enough progesterone will cut off the serotonin to the brain, which is your feel-good transmitter. And this is a study. I won't get into all the details of the study. This is clinically proven with a group of women who were diagnosed as progesterone deficient and their alcohol dependence. And so what do? They self-medicate to get a little temporary relief, to get a little release of serotonin for the moment by turning to alcohol. Women who never touched a drop in their life. And here's the big one, ladies. Myelin sheath deterioration, carpal tunnel, fibromyalgia, multiple sclerosis. These are myelin sheath deterioration issues. Myelin sheath is the insulation around your nerves. Just like insulation around electrical wiring. That's what myelin sheath is. All of our nerves are insulated. When that myelin sheath deteriorates, what happens? Right here. See it? Choo! Short circuit. What do you think happens right there? Pain. So it depends where you're deteriorating. Are you deteriorating in your wrists? Are you deteriorating randomly throughout your body? Or is it in your spine and in your head? That will determine whether you have MS or not. Progesterone is responsible for the formation of the myelin sheath. And if you didn't have enough problems already, now you got to deal with the environment. Xenoestrogens, that means false estrogen. Your body receives them just like estrogen. And some of these are 30,000 times stronger than the estrogen in your body. Okay, men, you got to deal with this stuff too. Artificial sweeteners, false estrogens, pesticides, fertilizer, city water. Yeah, they can get the bacteria out of the water, but they can't get the drugs. Right, water expert? Right. Food preservatives, food dye, meat, dairy, and eggs, forget about it, loaded. Household cleaners, cosmetics, toiletries, Teflon, and tin cans. As if you didn't have enough problems, right? Now you got to deal with all these environmental estrogens as well. We have 2 creams right here that take care of this problem.